Hello everyone and welcome back to LCS Challengers. We have our first match of the day over and done, and it was pretty fun all around. So I'm hoping to carry that energy through to our next series, which is going to be TLC taking on Cincinnati Fear. So how are you feeling about this one right out of the gate?
Oh, it's gonna be a fun one, man. I am so excited. I know Beatdown, you were wanting to talk there, but you gotta give it up for TLC,
you
man.
Wait your turn. You gotta wait your turn.
They've been on a roll, all right. They've been on a roll, and Fear, they're trying to put things together. I think you've seen a lot of confidence come out from Fear, and rightfully so. At the end of last split, we got to see a lot of great stuff from them, but they're trying to put the new pieces together here.
They are, and I think they're pretty exciting pieces as well. I mean, we talk about the addition of JJ coming into the mix, a fill-up in the top lane, because of course we know Faisal went over to FlyQuest Challengers, who we just saw. And I think this is a roster who still has the potential to show us a bit of what we saw in spring, but these pieces coming in so new, especially for JJ, who's coming off of a break of competitive play, I think they need a little time.
And you know what? It was just the first week, so maybe things haven't quite gone how they wanted to, but it's the first week. Teams are figuring things out, teams are adjusting. And Cincinnati Fear, I'm sure they're going to get there, but a team that doesn't really have to worry about that adjustment period, well, that is going to be Team Liquid Honda Challengers, of course. I mean, I feel like, too, very consistent with Team Liquid is once we get a team, we get to see it through until people move on, and things we're already meshing, and already Nazel looking at our summer split. They are working so well.
They are looking good. There's a reason why Mir won Play of the Week earlier, Beatdown. I know you're going to be salty about that, but it is Team Liquid who are finding their shtick, right? They have Bradley getting some tank play in the top side. You get the TF out of APA. You always get those kind of crazy mid laners that will set a tempo in mid lane. But it's Mir and Arrow that end up down smashing a lot of the matchups. And so this whole team, they are gunning for glory, at least at this point in NACL for summer.
Especially to falling a little short when we look back to our spring split, of course. We talked about the dynasty that is Team Liquid Challengers and what they're able to do. And they still got to see a lot of success and Fear chasing them at every point of the road. So looking back at our spring playoff graphic, you could really start to see how this goes down. If we start looking at that bottom bracket, not looking at the left side, of course, we're talking about teams that did make a run. We're looking to the right side. It was actually Team Liquid to knock Cincinnati Fear out of the tournament, a full 5-game series. Team Liquid did fall to Cloud9 in that next round, unable to quite continue that title that they were looking for, but still, this is really close, or at least was when we're looking back at spring, close between these teams.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see this matchup because if we look at the standings now, these two teams who placed in the top 4 at the end of spring playoffs had great runs. One of them are doing great and one of them isn't. We've kind of been hinting at it that Fear at the moment struggling a little bit, being on that right side there over at 8th place, tied with Team Fish Tacos. Again, we talk about how they had the roster shakeups. They had a big loss when they lost Trevor in the support role. He was a big leader for the team. So now that they are getting used to not playing with him any longer and having JJ, we'll see what they're going to be capable of. And again, I believe they'll do well, just need to be given some time.
I specifically think that the cohesion and the communication post 10 minutes is so important for this team because last split, the big driving factor for Fear was all in, all together. We commit to the plays together as a team, and I think we're still seeing that come online, and I'm excited to see what they've done in this week leading up to it to make sure that week 2 looks a little bit more cohesive.
Especially too with already seeing a couple of our teams and the improvement they made from week 1 and week 2. Cincinnati Fear is definitely a team that I'm excited to see going on for today. But also just looking at our players and what they're offering, I'm excited for this matchup in general, specifically when we're looking at our mid lane, because there is a lot here to digest, Beat.
Right, I mean, this matchup is exciting because at the moment, APA is the best mid in the league at the moment. Shochi is a player who really surprised a lot of us last year, had some great performances, and even now, despite their struggles, is playing well. And these are two players who, they have an overlap, even though we haven't seen the Ziggs come out yet. for APA. We know he's a big proponent of that champion, and they're the ones who play the more unique style of champions, really flexing that pool to be able to give their team compositions more flexibility and more impact in a lot of these situations. So I'm excited to see what they're cooking up this time.
There's got to be a lot of cooking in the pots right
yeah.
now for both these two guys. I know Shochi has spoke openly about how confident he is in his own play, but as well as with the team. But it is trying to figure out what this mid lane 1v1 is going to give us today. And if we're going to get a lot of that mobility out of there, or if we're going to get 1v1s coming through between APA and Shochi.
Let's talk a little bit more about what each of these players is cooking. And we'll start with what you talk to be the best mid laner in the league, especially to APA was someone that going on into our spring split, someone that people are really excited to see come out here and play, and going back on these clips and what he's been doing, like, for good reason.
He's a player who we've been very excited about for him to finally get his shot at this level of play here for APA. And in spring, he had a lot of good performances, and he has kept that up and then some here in summer. So far, we've seen his laning has looked really good. He's finding a lot of these natural advantages, getting summoner spells, occasionally getting kills. And of course, is so good in these team fights and on these interesting picks like the Nautilus, which we've seen pop up a little bit.
The Nautilus does find an interesting position on this team, because then that just enables Mir to be on these carry junglers and it makes him look so good. But it's the moments that you see APA picking apart the fight, right? It always feels like this guy's playing 4D chess, not only in his draft, in his build, but the way that he approaches a lot of these fights. And he may just be on a TF, but those yellow cards, the setup, that is what enabled a lot
The
of
current
that.
TF build is not okay, man. It's so good.
It's not.
Well, we'll have to see how he faces off against Shochi. And Shochi last week had some pretty big words just in general. Most of it specifically targeted at one person. It wasn't APA, but still, when you're coming out here and talking in these interviews and talking this big game, well, Mazel, I'm hoping as we check out his play that we do get to see that come alive on the Rift.
We've seen them opt into a lot of comfort for Shochi in the past. I think you see that in the Syndra in week number 1, but it was pulling things out like this, where you have the Ziggs from mid lane, not bot lane, and trying to find those big moments for Fear to turn things around, right? Playing at the edge of their seats, able to get the damage on. This is the kind of execution we've grown to expect from Shochi.
Right. And overall, even though Fear isn't exactly where they were last split in terms of the coordination, that confidence, the team play, we still see that potential there. JJ is that player that we know can help facilitate the team overall. And with Shochi just being that player who is kind of a rock for Cincinnati Fear at the moment, you got to imagine in time they will excel.
Well, then I'm curious with what we got to see with week 1, with whereabouts we're benchmarking this Cincinnati Fear team right now, Mazel. If we think that week 2 is going to be the week that they come alive, or is this something that, stay in the oven a little bit longer?
I expect to bounce back. I think the thing about Fear in their past, and especially keeping the 3 crucial members, I feel like, besides Trevor really being that voice on the team, you do have a big bounce back factor for a lot of these guys, and they aren't going to take that first week kind of lying down. I expect a big comeback.
How are you feeling? Is this the same? That look, it does not inspire confidence, my friend.
No, okay, hear me out. I think they're going to bounce back soon. Especially because every team plays 3 games every week now. A lot more time to get reps in. This is TLC. Number 1 team in the league at the moment here. The best performing team in the league at the moment here. This will be a good test, but I don't think today is where the bounce back happens. Come back and ask me tomorrow.
Maybe I'll come back and ask you in a game, as we are ready with our draft in the game to see how exactly this one's gonna play out between Cincinnati Fear and Team Liquid. I'll see you later, Beat, with maybe a I told you so on the horizon.
Maybe.
I think there might be a Grim Reaper coming to your door after this game number 1.
Let me go lock that.
You have to be a little careful. We'll see you after the game, Sierra. But here we are, series number 2, kicking off for week number 2. We got Fear on the blue side versus TLC on the red side. A lot of gravitation towards extremely aggressive junglers for Mir, and also some gravitation towards comfort bans for TLC. They ban away the Seraphine. This is something that Fear inscribed in everybody in the Challenger seed last split. It was not banned away their first series of this split, and it was immediately shown why they should get that banned away from them. So some respect given by TLC. They'll also ban away the Nico. We get that Vi, Lucian, and Nautilus banned by Fear themselves.
So what's interesting is I imagine TLC are going to leave Milio and Yuumi up just because of the fact that at this point banning one means Fear absolutely take the other, and I'm curious to see which one Fear are going to prioritize, especially because the Seraphine ban is out of the pick. Yeah, so they're just going to go ahead and take away the LeBlanc. So pick number 1. Do I see Milio? Oh! Okay, Yuumi.
You see Yuumi, the other one. Woo!
Sure, that's fine. Milio's better. Whatever. It's one of the broken enchanters. Woo! We love enchanters. I hate enchanters.
So I know this is off left field, out in left field, off of the diving board, whichever one of the two sports references you want. In LPL, the answer so far to Zeri Yuumi that's found consistency if you're good at it is a Tristana Milio. I would have loved to see it. I know it was a far shot for Arrow to whip out the Tristana. It will just be back to tried and true in the Aphelios, which is okay. A little bit of a bland pick, but something that also Arrow has really found a lot of success on, and want to see what they combo with that going into the Yuumi and the Zeri that's definitely around the corner.
And I like the priority on the jungle there, because your Milio's not going to be picked away at this point here. I can't even imagine how that would work. So instead, Mir is going to secure himself the Maokai, a champ he's had a lot of good success on. The ability and impact he's had on the early game has been staggering, and of course, that Nature's Grasp is incredible in team fights.
Yeah, and you just can choke out so many team fights with the Maokai, and it gives you so much presence around objectives, which is something that TL definitely want to go for. I love the Wukong pickup here for Perry. It's also something that can play a little bit aggressive. I know last split and even at the start of this one, Perry is still that guy who will look for the advantages himself. He wants to prop the team up himself. So we'll see if he could do that on this Wukong into the Maokai matchup. Now, we did get that Milio finally locked in for TL.
He said he wants to be that carry for the team. He showed us a lot of that in spring, and he's been playing pretty well so far despite Fear's struggles, hoping to see more of that. And on Fear's side, now we have a pretty clear idea of how they want to play. When you're playing into something like the Maokai, though, I'm expecting a tank pick there in the top side for Philip, Sion, Asante, something like that, just to facilitate the Zeri Yuumi and whatever Shochi ends up running in the mid lane.
I'm starting to look at these mid laners and I'm like, who's going to go first? Who's going to lock it in? Who's going to start the train of craziness? Which one's going to go with something insane? As we do get a lot of that comfort focus as well. It is the Olaf, the Ari ban from TLC, and the Ziggs that we've been seeing clips of. We also saw last series, but Fear want to make sure they don't have to deal with that one here.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Olaf is quite good, and now with that last ban coming through here, Fear, they have a couple options. Could continue pinching the mid pool, and it's going to end up being that Cassiopeia. I think that ends up being a decent call just because of the short range that we've seen so far from Fear's composition. And now that you have the 4th pick, you have 2 options. Last pick for Bradley, and pick APA's pick here now, or pick Cassante, and then just save APA for R5.
It's going to be the Cassante, right? You got to go with that counter pick mid lane when this mid lane matchup means so much. But it does mean that there's some comfort left open. And this Syndra pick has been something Shochi has gone to in the past. It's also one of his big champions that found a lot of comfort last split with as well. But I want to see more meta come out for Fear. And they do go with that. They go with the Annie that we've seen rise to extreme prominence at this point. Maybe not always finding success, but it gives Shochi that go button, which we've seen pulled off with those mechanics that he has, work really well for Fear.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that it was going to be the Syndra, just because I would have really liked that disengage to come through here. Annie is good, overall staple meta, like you say, but when you're playing into the Milio, later on into the game, those team fights, that Breath of Life is going to really mess up the plans that you have going for yourself for Shochi, and we'll have to see how he's going to be able to take advantage of that. You still have the Wukong to play for here, so there's still that angle. Oh, it's Kennen.
It's the specials.
Are you a Kennen fan, Lennon?
No, I'm a Cassante mid fan, and we've been seeing it consistently in the LPL. We see it all the time, and it provides so much skirmishing power out of mid lane. It becomes so difficult to deal with, and then you're point and present for a lot of the fights. And APA will be whipping that one out here. Also, get a lot of that team fight special from TLC with Bradley on the Kennen and the team fight setup for the rest of the team with Mir on Maokai.
Yeah, Kennen is a really strong pick at the moment here. It has been for like a year, if you ask me. So it is really nice for team fight. It allows you to shift the Cassante to mid, and it has a lane that you have prio towards on the top side. So it'll be nice to set up for Rift Herald fights for TLC, and it'll be great for the 5v5 later on. I'm looking at Fear's side. We see Philip locking in the Gnar. We'll have that team fight option. We'll be decently strong inside, but it is going to be a little tough in my opinion, just because of the amount of health bars on TLC's side.
Indeed, it will be. But we got game 1 of our second series kicking off now. We got Cincinnati Fear on the blue side with Team Liquid Challengers on that red side. Make sure you're spamming in chat who you think's going to win. Fear for Fear and TLC for Team Liquid. We get all of that influence in here because both these teams will not be holding back. We put so much focus on a couple of these mid laners. Shochi versus APA, what they can do with the meta, but now what they can do with this matchup. Andy versus Cassante.
And both are picks where you're going to be able to have that ability to lock down someone on the side of your opponents here. I mean, Shochi, I look at TLC's comp. You want Arrow out of the picture. You want to get him taken care of, right? The other side? Oh, hold on.
It's just the lonely kitty cat.
Couldn't hurt a fly. Would you hurt a defenseless cat, Team Liquid? I didn't think so.
That's cancelable.
It is. So instead, TLC make the wise move of just laying down Vision. Fear will do the same. We saw how impactful that early Vision was in the first series there between FlyQuest and AoE. Now we'll see what teams are going to be able to do with this information here in game 1 of our second series. Again, we are looking at TLC as this comp that's going to be very beefy later on. A lot of ways to team fight. We have mid laners on both sides who are looking to go for these 80 carries and take them out of the picture. And I like APA's chances just because Cassante is that kind of champion. Plus Arrow has cleanse on top of Kim Down's ult. It's going to be hard.
Yeah, there's a lot of layers to get through. We're going to try to attack Arrow to some extent. But I'm honestly looking at Mir and seeing if we're going to get another play of the week status going on here in this series. Maybe not the Maokai biggest showboater in terms of the big plays, but I appreciate that we had that close contention between Mir and Quacker in the plays, but Mir comes out on top because he does find a lot of those avenues forward. He does find a lot of those moments where you're just like, how did this guy think of this? It's because he's just that damn good, man.
He is. His early pathing, so creative, is able to dodge so much vision, get people at angles they aren't expecting. It's just been so incredible for TLC, both last split and this split. He's still one of the few junglers as well in team fights who finds these alternate angles, these flanks, just to be able to get crucial members out of the picture.
Oh, APA is going to be a little bit of trouble here. Definitely a fight that Perry wants to have. Mir is coming down, but he can't. Oh, he saves him. The red buff's not enough. APA makes it out. Bradley is now coming down after pushing Philip under tower. This is something that TL want to go for, actually. They can connect this on a parry. He gets it. One more stun will do it. Mir goes forward. First blood for Bradley. Give him that dog.
Oh, that's brutal. Shochi's W ended up missing Bradley, so he got to keep running and chase them down. So that just means first blood for Kennen, who already had an easy top lane matchup, as we're seeing here. And now APA is going to be easily able to come back to lane, and Mir has a clear advantage in the early minutes.
Cannot believe that APA survived there. That's actually insane. I'd love to hear the comms of him just probably screaming his head off.
Close.
Not even close, baby. Philip saying the same thing to Bradley right now, but a little bit worse for wear under his tower. But this just means that TL will be looking at this top side consistently.
And at this point, Philip might have to make that decision. Whether or not he's just going to back and teleport. He's very low health, could get 100 to 0'd. As we look towards the rest of the map, Perry is finishing up some of the early clears, some of the early farm that he was not able to get. While Mir, I mean, he's just farming away ever since that early play came through here. I really think Fear
has flash.
Oh, yeah.
Bradley has flash. Philip? Oh, yeah. He was so close to activating that W.
Yeah, I mean, I like that Bradley doesn't even go for it. This wave, oh, this is brutal. It's still pulling away, but he actually might be taking the opportunity to just push it back. Bradley, again, this matchup is so good for him here. This Cannon's going to be such a big pick, and I feel the pressure is on Cincinnati Fear to be the ones to find this activity early on. You have this mid-jungle duo with the Wukong Annie, a lot of CC lockdown, especially post-6. You need to take advantage of that to get picks.
I just feel like we have the Drake meme right now for Fear, where it's like early game, it's the first Drake. Nah, we don't want that. Late game, yeah, that's all that we want for Fear, because Venui and JJ will be extremely strong, but it's about the rest of the map bridging them there, and that relies on Perry linking up with Shochi earlier on as soon as we hit those level 6s.
That's right, and we're getting very close to that point in the game here where Fear, we need to see more of that activity, but so far it's all TLC. You can see APA constantly using the few moments of roam time that he has to be able to walk around, get a little vision. Is Perry over here? Oh, is he over there? Can I drop down a ward? And it's very impactful because, I mean, one, you're going to get that information if you spot Perry out. If you don't, you can infer on where he is.
Renew trading on the bottom side, though. I do wonder, with this kind of priority that we're seeing given back and forth in bottom lane, if it is a situation where TL want to go for this Dragon earlier on. They have the Cassante, they have a decent lead, right? They can get some push out of mid lane and move to that, but that is a conversation that'll come after this bot lane focus from Mir.
He does get spotted, things come through, so they know. Even with JJ sitting on
It should
Perry.
just be Dragon.
Yeah, you know that JJ isn't in the area. It's going to be an easy pickup. Like you said, Fear early Drakes? Nah, it's all about the late game. And another thing we didn't talk about is that not just the Zeri Yuumi coming through here, there's also the Yuumi and the Wukong, who they have spotted out. It could be a very potent combo later on. It could help Perry sustain himself when going for some of those crazy deep plays. At the moment, no plays available. You see 2 pink wards to make sure there is no surprise coming through.
Well, Perry just looking to control ward clear a little bit there. I love that JJ is looking to link up with Perry, because I do expect that to be a big combo. Obviously, with the Yuumi reworks, you want to stay majorly attached to Manui. Oh, Bradley, the wallop comes through, but that's the slicing maelstrom back. The storm has cometh, meaning Philip walks away.
Good play. It's going to be just trading ults there. Nothing else is really going to come for it. Oh, Perry? He's going for a flangle. But little does he know, Bradley is gone.
Bradley's like, peace. I didn't need to be there, but he's going to walk back into his tri-bush here, and he does not have the health for this. This is huge. Fear trying to get Bradley down. He immediately senses the trouble. He has flash, but Shochi's on his way as well. Bradley, can you get out of here? No way, Jose. Philip gets on the board.
That's a really nice move coming through from Perry, dodging vision by going over the Baron wall. It means that Philip's going to be able to get a nice back after he walks away, of course, and manages to get a kill for himself. Getting kills onto this Gnar is going to be pretty helpful. Increasing how tanky he's going to be will make him that much better able to frontline for Fear later on into the game. Because we talked about it. TLC have no shortage of frontline here. You have Cassante, who's going to kidnap your AD carry. You have Mir on the Maokai, who's just going to lock you down with that Nature's Grasp. So any help you can get on Fear is good.
I love this move from Fear, though, as well. They were committing to this Rift Herald just in case TL wanted to contest them. They had moved their bot lane up as well. You end up securing that, so they'll just reset down to the bottom lane here, get everything in the right positions, but it's showing that Fear are playing heads up against TL, who have found so many ways to domineer victories just in that first week of NACL.
And getting that Rift Herald is going to be a good start for them to be able to get those advantages let in. The fact is, TLC are up about 1k gold right now. If you can make a play onto the bot lane, get a kill onto Perry, Minui, someone, and get the Rift Herald and get some plates. That is the way to get the ball rolling in your favor. For the moment, though, it's going to be Mir. Doesn't realize he's spotted, but will get those respawn Raptors. So it is a good takeaway there, especially considering he's actually up a good bit of farm.
When you have those solo laners, it just feels real good to be Mir. He gets to make so many decisions in this matchup against Perry because he has that strength from the mid lane. From Cassante, he always has presence.
Hey, we just take a look at mid, actually. Actually, hold on. A little bit going on.
It's a noodle fight.
Yeah. So it's worth noting, Shochi's actually a good bit of farm down compared to APA, so he's behind a good bit of gold. And that's part of what's contributing to this lead we see here. Oh, I forgot it's Zeri, my bad.
Yeah, you forgot about Zeri. It's
Does
okay.
Does that happen to you, Lennon? I want to know.
No, it doesn't, because
Really?
I literally see her every single
every
day of
day.
my life. So, you know,
understand.
not much that's going to surprise me at this point. If a Zeri goes 1v9, that's just another day.
It's just Tuesday.
Feels good, man. Feels good, man. But at least it feels good for Fear. I still do want to see them get Perry out here, figure out where he wants to use this Rift Herald. I do not expect it to go mid lane. It's going to be very difficult to get that crash in. But he is hovering over this top side of the map here.
That's right. Perry, easy, down a level. Mir's continuously getting ahead of him in terms of farm. I know you can just see TL are up, CS, every lane, and that's where this natural gold advantage comes from. We talk about APA being able to do that himself, and it's looking like the whole of Team Liquid Challengers have been able to do that here. You can see, I like this harass from Arrow and Kim down, making it harder for Manui to farm under this turret here, because it's been tough scenes for Fear all across the board.
Yeah, it truly has. We get another
Bradley.
1v1. Oh, Philip lost his Meganar, though. Bradley might be looking for it. The Yordle's going at it, and he gets the flash, too. Here comes the Nature's Grasp. Philip has no way out of this one. Gets tagged at the end, and Mir gets that kill. Perry's trying to find Bradley at the end, though. Here, he wants to get him. That double Cyclone does get him. No, maybe not. The knockback from the Bramble Smash, and Mir, you got to do damage. No! Perry! He goes down to the burn, and the minions. Mir with 2 kills. That might be a play of the week candidate.
Oh, Lennon, that is an FF if I ever saw one. If this is solo queue, my jungler is spam pinging me as the top laner. Oh, Lord. That's a brutal one. Cincinnati Fear just continue to fall apart all across the map here. And that play, you can see what TLC have earned themselves here. 3,500 gold. And they're only up 2 kills. This is CS and turret plates, Lennon, and they have that first Drake. Perry is getting to this point where this Herald is about to expire, and he has nowhere to drop it. There is not a single lane where you could actually make a good play at the moment here, just because of how far behind you are. And at this point, I'm expecting a move from Shochi to brute force something somewhere.
And it was all about the conversation of cohesion. Here's the all-out, though, of APA in the mid lane. Gets the knockback. Shochi, he gets that Tibbers down at the last second with the stun. Saves his life. Thank you, Tibbers, Shochi says. There is the Rift Herald charge at top side that got Phillips some plates, though. Dragon being taken by Mir and TL.
And I like that from Bradley. Just respects it. Says, hey, man, you want to pick up plates? No problem. That's all for you. My team, they're winning all across the board. It's about the long con. And TLC have that in spades. You can see it. Bradley, now he's walked back to lane. Now he's not afraid to step up. And, well, Lennon, this is tough. I'm going to keep it 100 with you.
So, I do want to say, though, that was the thing that we're searching for Fear. It's how do you coordinate JJ and Philip into that cohesive ball of death that you had in spring for Cincinnati Fear? Were Trevor and Faisal really that influential that it doesn't find that cohesion in a split without them? So the conversation continues to be asked, and I think we aren't seeing a response here in game number 1 of Fear, but that is something we have to continue to look for because that is still their mindset.
Absolutely. Even if it's not in this game, best of 2s, everyone. There will be an opportunity. Although this game is tough, it's not over yet. However, Mir is here, and man, that's brutal.
They're going to TP to make matters worse. There's the cleanse, the Bramble Smash from Mir. He is kiting him down as Bradley can't connect the angle there. Final chapter dissuades the rest of TL, but this outer tower should go down immediately.
Yeah, that's what we call an optimistic teleport. But it will give even more pressure, forcing Manui to blow both the summoner spells, and that first turret ends up going through as we get the lane swap coming out here. And TLC, this is what we see them do very often, where after laning phase starts to end, they, better than most teams in this league, rotate Arrow all across the map and allow him to take down turret after turret, just stacking up all the gold for their AD carry.
Yeah. TL literally have a 20 CS lead across the entire map pretty much. I mean, obviously besides support, but that's just huge to speak of, and that's a lot of this gold lead that's gone over to them and a lot of the map control as well. We have a Rift Herald on the table here that Fear are positioning around with vision, but TL are here in full force.
And it's a good answer. Very few plays are available to Fear at the moment here. So you understand as Team Liquid Challengers are like, hey, all they can do is go mid. Let's go mid real quick and stop this, and then let's just collect the Herald, which belongs to us. So it's just been clean and clinical from Team Liquid so far. So common with what we've seen from them so far in the split. After week 1, they finished 5-1, showed us that they were so far the best performing team in Challengers League, and they are not letting off the pedal against Cincinnati Fear.
Fear had gotten the first Rift Herald. TL take that second one. Kochi gives up this thumbs up here as well. Actually see potentially some movement from Perry around this mid lane. Side lanes are going to go about how they go. Arrow actually with some vision on Perry, getting a decent chunk there. My God.
And this is Kraken Slayer, Aphelios, way ahead of most everyone on the other side. He's going to be hurting people. And I respect that Philip continuously goes in for these trades, but there isn't very much that he's going to find. Oh.
Man, I also just want to harp on APA, man. I can't get enough of this guy. He's been around since before I started casting, and he was one of the first guys I got to cast back when I first started in amateur.
What team was he on?
Oh, it's been a long time, my friend. There's a lot of teams.
Fair.
But I still remember the days of seeing him really influence mid in terms of the way that he's picked. And he has come in to NACL, and he has made that difference, right? And you look at TL, you look at Mir, you look at APA, and you see this new influx of talent that has revitalized a system that is so legacy building in their own right in the developmental scene.
Yeah, very true. APA is someone who we all wanted to see get a chance at this level. In fact, when he joined Team Liquid last split, it wasn't even it was just an about time. It wasn't even like a thank God. Like, we were just like, okay, when were the teams gonna wake up and get this guy in Challengers League? And we saw what he was able to do when they finally did, and it's been good so far.
A collegiate promotion from Maryville in his short stint there. He made waves, and here he is making more for TL. The Casante mid looking awfully good against the Annie. Like that he also took the TF and things like that before. Mir coming back onto the map, though, will be looking to position around this Dragon Pit as Soul Points coming up for TL.
And what an early Soul Points it is, especially if they get this one. That's going to be like a 23-minute Dragon Soul, something along those lines. But Fear, they're getting pushed. They're trying to get some space so that maybe they can go for it. But Lennon, remember what I talked about? Trying to force these fights for Soul Points? This is one of those times where, Fear, you shouldn't do this.
Well, they're going to do it anyways. All together strong, they say. Because they don't have Philip, so maybe not all together. Maybe they wish they were all together. They have 4 members down here getting collapsed on. Nature's Grasp connects onto 2 here as the TPs come from Philip. He's so far away from the fight. Manui has dipped out, and so has Fear. One by one, the dominoes fall. It's a 5-man Megadar from Philip, but it does not matter. Arrow shreds them down. The white flags come out, but not for TL. Fear get wiped.
And Fear took a massive risk. They could have let this dragon go. They could have tried to consolidate for the soul fight, but no, they went for it now. And they paid dearly because the soul point goes over anyway. But TLC now find themselves 6,000 gold up instead of, what was it, 2K? It's just been an insane increase in gold for Team Liquid Challengers. I mean, look at what happened here. There was just no world in which you get this dragon, win this fight, especially because Philip needed to teleport instantly. But the problem was he was building that Mega Gnar. He got it when he landed. He got a good Mega Gnar ult. By the end of it, like, you already lost either all of your team's health bars or your support in JJ.
5-man ulti.
Milio, baby.
Gotta love it. Gotta love that breath of life given over. As, TL are making mincemeat out of Fear so far in this game. 6.5k lead. That dragon in 4 minutes, as you had said, about 23 and a half. will be that soul for TL and Fear. They didn't build that bridge. The bridge is looking a little rickety at this point. I don't know if Manui can traverse it.
No, I don't think so. I'm seeing teleport come through, making sure.
Have you ever been on like a swinging bridge? Or like one of those crazy bridges with like all the spaces in between?
I hate those.
They're
I'm so bad with heights. I try to avoid those like the plague. Because no matter how much someone tells me it's safe, I'm just like, yeah, maybe, but what if you're wrong? Do you ever consider that?
Always go with those friends that shake the bridge too. We'll see a little bit of shaking of the bridge here. See a lot of damage back. Oh my God! A triple kill and make it a quadra for Arrow. That's a play of the week right there.
Oh, surely that one has to be in the running as TLC off a great play have earned themselves the bear. They are speed running game one. They're trying to get us done nice and quick tonight, Lennon.
Dude, that smile from Arrow has to be from ear to ear. I love setting up all the other parts of this TL roster, but the fact that they have a man like Arrow who is internationally known and ready to put you down at a moment's notice, it just gets too good.
And that's got to feel so good as Arrow says, oh baby, this is the ult. And he manages to get the quadra kill. And that was a play Fear started, by the way. Didn't work out. Went horrifically, actually, as now TLC are up 10K.
What an advantage. A second and a half item completed for Arrow now just off the back of that quadra. And look at that mountain that has developed. Over 10,000 gold in the lead for Team Liquid.
Oh my goodness. Mir, this is his jungle now. Everyone's just living in it as his presence forces Fear to walk away. And this is what I'm talking about. Arrow, Mr. Worldwide, all across the rift, guided by his team to pick up all this extra turret gold. And of course, he has the escort in Bradley as he gets it done.
And this was a guy who was on IMT last year. They found a new home. He showed that he had the stuff to make it with TL to find and carve out a place for himself. And this guy is also just the most happy-go-lucky guy I've met, right? Like, he's so holistically wholesome, but also just ready to out-mechanically execute you on the Rift. It's such a wonderful combo. There's a reason why he's been a mainstay for so long, but also why he's an absolute carry threat, along with all of these other members of TL that you have to watch out for.
And speaking of execution, it's very likely what we are witnessing here from the side of Team Liquid.
It's not Infernum, but it's Calibrum as they're trying to go for it. Now Bradley, he wanted that slicing maelstrom, but TL are looking for the end here.
22 and a half minutes and 2 inhibitors are down. You got 2 big ultimates there. The Nature's Grasp, Moonlight Vigil out of the picture now, so I think TL not looking to push their luck. Instead, Baron empowered recalls. Everyone look at TL's inventory right now. They haven't backed in a while. I want to see the gold. I want to see what's picked up here.
It's pieces.
It is not as exciting as I thought.
Reese's
I take
pieces.
It back. Yeah, exactly. Nobody look at that.
Woo!
Instead,
nobody look at the gold graph.
Total gold.
Nobody look at that.
No. I want people to look at that because Arrow has 10K and the second highest, or rather the highest on the side of Fear is Manui at 8.5K. And that's really just all you need to know about the difference between TLC and Fear in this first game.
At this point, you're just hoping that third item turns Manui into Exodia of some sort, because it's not looking very promising for Fear. They still have the catch-out potential, and they're looking for Bradley. He pops that slicing maelstrom. He might get out. The Breath of Life was used, but he still goes down. He got TP coming in, though. APA is joining the fight. He's looking to go all out straight on his Chochi as he gets the kill there. It is TL pushing down mid lane.
It's 1-for-1, but the backs have come through. The gold has been spent. Team Liquid Challengers with the super waves coming through mid and bot. They have what they need to close out this game one in what is a blitzing fashion.
Won't be our fastest game of the split so far, but it'll be damn close. TL are trying to put the finishing touches here. They got the super minions. They're actually looking to back off. You got completed res timers coming through for Fear and TL. They say we want to hold on a little bit longer. Oh, maybe not. Philip getting a little bit low. Arrow stepping forward.
Arrow's feeling it.
Might be a little bit extended here as those shots from the minions as well doing so much. TL slowly but surely backing away.
I like that call. Again, damage is done. They're chipping away at TLC nice and slowly, respecting the Chochi is coming online, coming back from respawn, I should say. And they're just going to go ahead and collect the Dragon Soul. So it's the Chemtech Soul, not the strongest, but a permanent buff nonetheless. And truthfully, this Soul sounds kind of BM when you're super ahead. Because the fact is, when you're below 50% health, you take less damage. So that means that Fear are going to have even a harder time bursting people down. Bradley, that's just disrespectful, man.
Why you gotta hate, bro? Why you gotta hate?
Why's he gonna do that, man? They're suffering enough. You can let go of the blue, but you don't need it.
Competition breeds competition, all right?
You're right. Actually, I take it back. I would have done it. I don't even know why I'm like trying to high road.
You in that situation? Why are you trying to high horse
I'm typing
here?
it. I'm typing in all chat if that was
partner.
Me. Yeah, that's what I'd say if I was Bradley, actually. Hey, why don't you step off my blue buff,
What kind of
partner?
horse would you have, deep down?
I don't know anything about horses, so that is not a... I would have a fast one.
What color horse would you have? There you go. Do you have like a spot, like a painted, painted horse? You have like solid colored?
I would do a solid color.
Long mane, short mane.
Long mane for sure. That sounds majestic.
Yeah, it does sound.
What about you? Please be simple as possible. I don't know horses.
Well, I don't know if we have time for that. We'll get to the horse conversations later as TL, the horse in this race, is looking to put down game number 1. Arrow with another Infernum. Doesn't do as much damage this time, but they will get that last inhib, and they're going all in now. Arrow stepping forward, and you still got the breath of life given by Kim down. Slicing Maelstrom comes apart, but this should be the final touches. Mir healing so much, and one more minion wave crashing onto the turrets. Nexus in sight for Team Liquid Challengers.
26 minute, not the fastest finish, but a decisive one from the best performing team in Challengers.
13,000 gold in the lead, a dominating performance. Damn. Incredible stuff from Arrow on the Aphelios, but specifically the setup, what happened top lane, and Mir's representation of this Maokai. All great stuff, but now we're looking for Fear to bounce back. We're going to step away for a short little break, or we'll have Sierra with our halftime show right after this.